a great many people asking about why I walk barefoot just in the past week alone. Here I am talking about it finally. So the question is why I do it, and I always answer now with the question, what happens to an electrical system when it's overloaded? Now, in particular, I'll give my father as an example. I asked him the question because he studied electricity as an electrician many years ago, and what I asked him is the question. So, what happens to an electrical system when it's overloaded? Well, it fuses or it blows, whatever. And then, so I asked him, is it always the case that it's going to blow? And he said, no. And I said, well, what do you do? And he said, well, you drain the energy, in essence, or the electricity. And I said, how do you do that? And he said, with a capacitor. And he said, it's very easy. So here is my answer to everybody. The earth is a capacitor, and it absorbs or takes in the extra electricity that we as electromagnetic beings possess. And why is that a big deal? It's not like we're blowing up, fusing, that sort of thing. But we are very much in disharmony within our bodies. So all I can really say is try it and see how you feel. Actually, and I'll just backtrack for a second. This information is based on the studies and great research by a man by the name of Clint Ober, who is in a film, and he's got his own short film as well. But the film is called The Earthing or The Grounding Movie, and I'll put a link to that below. So I got the information via him. I just decided to try it out myself. One of the guys this past week who was a little bit skeptical said to me, oh yeah, I've heard that walking on the grass improves your eyesight. And I said to him, in the very least, it improves your eyesight. I mean, and I don't know if this is wholly attributed to walking on the earth barefoot, but I've experienced I mean, for one, the most obvious is weight loss. I mean, I changed a few things in the way that I was eating, but it's hard to say actually, because there is no line. It's there's no division. It's not like you do one thing and that works or it doesn't work or whatever. It's a number of things. So that the weight loss could have been due to just so I didn't really tremendously change the way that I was eating or training, to be honest. And I was training, I was doing some pretty hard yoga sessions before I started walking barefoot. And now they're not so hard. It's sun salutations in the morning, and I'll throw in some warriors and balance postures. But I mean, for the amount that I've lost and the way that I'm shaping up, it's even with the food or without the food, whatever, I would say it's a large part with just putting my feet on the earth every morning. And I think, I mean, there is more to it in that I do stare at the sun. I feel good. I feel good. So that's the weight loss thing. But I noticed as well that, and inflammation was a big deal. And that's greatly decreased as well. And a lot of what looks like weight on a person is actually just inflammation. So honest to goodness, you know, don't take my word for it. Watch the film, get your own feet on the ground naked, and give it a try. You know, half an hour a day, especially while it's still warm-ish here in the northern hemisphere. And actually, one of the things that really stuck out was my mood. When I was working when I was volunteering with Stand Up Canada, there were times when I was on the emails, so I would receive all the emails, and there were some pretty heavy things to go through sometimes. What people were experiencing in their lives when they were basically just trying to exercise their human rights. And so there was one case actually of a lady in I think it was Alberta, and I saw her email, and I saw pictures within, and I saw that she had shared a video, or maybe more as well. It was quite detailed, and I mean, first of all, it took me a few days to get to it, because again, you know, as I was saying in a past video, it was a mental preparation to just be ready for what I knew was coming. And so there was a moment when I was ready, or so I thought, and I got partially through her long letter. I don't even think I looked at the pictures yet, and I hadn't finished, and I went straight outside with my bare feet onto the grass, and I just kneeled down. Actually, I put my hands on the ground as well, and I breathed in and out really deeply, and that was a great aid in being able to come back really calm and digest the rest of, or maybe not digest, but just ingest the rest of what she had written or relayed. So it's greatly calming to walk barefoot. There are so many. There are really very many benefits to it, and I highly suggest, if it resonates at all, that you just try it. Again, don't take my word for it. Just give it a go, and you know, again, as in a last video, what you believe is true. So if you believe it's quackery and all that, well, hey, that's you expressing your reality, and all the best. You know, who am I? I love you. I love you. You're perfect, as are we all. Anyways, I just want to tag on to the end of this, though, because it gives me great... I think that's why my morning walks, you know, sort of transcended into a meditation, because I'm incredibly focused where I'm walking. I'm incredibly focused, period, and that's a good meditation. So and it leads to contemplation. It's focus, and then I get pings. You know what happens when you're in alignment with source energy, when you're just focused on the moment, is that the inspired stuff comes to you. So actually, this is one of the things that came was, if you do watch the film, Clint Ober talks about how back in, I believe it was the 60s, we went from, you know, like running around, not barefoot, but it was more common, and then it was during, I've got my dates wrong, or I'm paraphrasing greatly, but the rubber-soled shoe came in. That's when we started seeing instances of dis-ease or inharmony within the body, because prior to that they were leather based, so we still had connection with the earth, and not everywhere. Please, you know, I'm really paraphrasing. I haven't seen the film in a bit. Anyhow, and he correlates that, you know, he's done the research. He got into this. He was incredibly successful in the corporate world. He got really sick, and after that, he sold everything. He you know, started doing research as to what went wrong with his body, and that's how he ended up barefoot, and is such a proponent of it because it was so great for him, and he had to share, as we do when we experience goodness. So there's Clint talking about, you know, the advent of the rubber soul, and I think I read an article about it. Like, I can't remember who, what, where, anything, but there were skeptics at the time about the rubber soled shoe, saying this is what's going to kill us. And actually, Clint tells a story about when he was a kid, and he was on a reservation, Native Indian reservation, and you know, he was going to go into the teepee with his friend, and the mother told him to take off his shoes, and also that that they're killing him. And he never forgot that. So anyways, you know, that got my mind thinking, because, you know, then there's the sunglasses. I briefly spoke about, I didn't even speak about it, I mentioned it, sun gazing. And this is something I do regularly every morning, and you know, I'll stare at the sun. And what I do is then close my eyes and see what the sun is showing me, and any messages that are coming in. Which oftentimes correlate to solar flares and coronal mass ejections. So that's a different video, but I just want to say how, like, we're told not to look at the sun directly, and that's why we wear sunglasses, you know, that sort of thing, which I rarely do, only when and if I'm driving and the sun is facing. But actually, that's not true. They look cool in a car. I admit it. But I don't wear them when I'm on the road. Yeah, anyways. So we've been taught and told that the sun is bad, and not to stare at it. And I just challenge that as I do. And it's been incredible. It's just been incredible. But here we are, and we wear, you know, these sunglasses, and they're cool and trendy and whatever. And they became that. I think at the, you know, when sunglasses started to come in, that same skeptic, or a skeptic like that one, would have said something similar as to when the rubber-soled shoe made its entrance into our consciousness. Anyways, where can this lead? But okay, let's just backtrack for a second. We covered our feet. Oh, do you know what I want to tell you? So what actually, the earth is a capacitor. It's pulling in our the excess energy, some of it. So it's actually like taking an internal shower. We take an external shower, we might as well take an internal. And we do that to, you know, for harmony. But so what's important to note is that the earth has a negative charge, and everything above it has a positive charge. So we are constantly collecting a positive charge throughout the day, whether it be through our food, whether it be through water, pollution, you name it, anything. Everything that is above ground gives us a positive charge, and that's why we want to release that energy into the ground. Period. That done. Very good. Now then, the final thing I wish to say is, first of all, so we covered our feet. That screwed us up greatly. We haven't even talked about food, and we won't in this video. But we covered our feet, we covered our eyes, and now we're covering our mouths, some of us. well, does it have to be? Do I even need to talk about it? That you know, the flow, the intake of oxygen, the release of carbon dioxide, that's all messed up. It's all messed up in the name of a disease that or a virus, sorry, that I don't know. I do actually. My thoughts on this is if it was so deadly, would we be arguing about it? You know, but anyways, there's the mask, and it's bling, it's trendy, it's, you know what I mean? That's the point I'm wanting to make. Everything gets bling and trendy and accepted, and just it becomes part of normal everyday life. So I leave you with all that to chew on. Great love to you as always, and until next time, ask questions, question me, question everything. Loads of love to you. Bye for now.